just what are you thinking? It's time to get up, girl, no more sinking. Out of the dark place that's holding you down. Rise up, sis, adjust your crown. You can be healed, empowered, and restored. Fill your cup to the brim so you can pour. Time to be healed, empowered, restored. This marriage is ministry.
Welcome to this month's Chat and Chew. My name is Schamell Stuart. I have a very, very, very quick role of just hopping in and transitioning to our speaker. So let me bring her on. Her name is Schamell Stuart. She is an Lutheran native like me. It's not very often we get to have them on, so I get really excited. And her topic tonight is Stretch Every Dollar Meal Prep Strategies for Families. And today is very important because we're talking about finances this month, and so digging into how to manage families when it comes to meal prep. A lot of you want strategies. Shout out to Beth Deal. She was the one who requested this live, and so I'm just gonna move right in. Who is Schamell?
Hi everyone. My name is Schamell. Schamell Stuart, second-time wife and mom to 4 beautiful children that I love and I'm so grateful for. I'm a born-again believer. And my passion, my newly discovered passion, is cooking. And I have to cook for my family every day. I don't like the idea of feeding them fast food, and whenever I can, I just go all out, go the whole 9 yards to cook for them, to give them a wow experience. So yeah, that's a brief synopsis. I'm a 4th-year university student. After my first husband passed away, I relocated to the United States, where I got remarried and had another baby. And so I took a break from university, and I am trying to complete my 4th year of university in Washington, where I have relocated. So yeah, that's a brief synopsis of me. Okay, so I know people may be looking at my stories that I share likely every day after I cook, but my strategy for cooking for my family, I don't wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to cook salmon today, I'm going to cook steak today. My strategy is I'll cook whatever is on sale. And stores like Safeway would have sale, buy one get one free, or buy one, you can mix and match. So they'll have manager specials. So I take advantage of those, and I would buy as much as I could buy at the time and as much as could hold in my freezer, and I would plan ahead. So if they have steak, salmon, whatever, lamb chops, whatever they have on sale, that's what I purchase, and I'll put in the freezer and plan ahead. So my meals are based on whatever is on sale. So that's how we strategize in the house. And Walmart is famous for their great value brand, which I find still have quality ingredients. So I take advantage of those low prices that Walmart have. So if you see our van around town, that's me going from store to store. So yes, that's something that I do. I do go from store to store because each store has a special offering, and I try to take advantage of those. Like I said, I'll purchase enough meat to last for 7 days, so I don't have to keep going to the store every day, because Mr. Stewart doesn't like the idea of me going to the store every day, especially like saving on gas. And we try to be very economical, which I think is really smart. And then having to take our baby to the store every day, putting it in the car seat, that's just something that I can't, find myself doing. Also, while the kids are in school, I would cook the rice or the pasta. If I'm doing pasta, and pasta tends to clump up I would I'd cook the pasta when they get home. So you have to learn your foods. You be strategic about the cooking. Um, yeah, and my kids, I'm so happy that we love pea soup and dumpling here because it's something that can yield a huge portion. So we do pea soup and dumpling, and that's something that could last 2 days, 2 to 3 days, depending on how much I cook. But everyone loves it, so it doesn't really last long. But it's something that could last, something that could yield large portions. Curry chicken is good as a leftover. Homemade spaghetti, that I'm not a big fan of that as a leftover, but that is something that could yield large portions and that you can have, for seconds and thirds. And then you can make stew fish, etc.
So a lot of us have husbands who don't like leftovers. So do you cook? You said you cook every day. Is it for that reason, or just that you have the creative juices flowing and that's something you enjoy?
Well, honestly, I think I kind of spoil my kids. My husband doesn't mind leftovers, but my kids are not big leftover fans. But you just have to find creative ways to utilize the leftovers. For instance, when I make Chinese rice the next day with leftover rice, they don't know that that's leftover rice. You just add vegetables, be creative with it. Once you put some new water with that, get it softened again, and just change the flavor of it. They would rarely know that that's a leftover dish. But you have to learn your family. If your family not big on leftovers, then you just find creative ways to appease everyone's desires. If you can, where finances permit and where time and energy permits. Oh, other things that I do, I would, I've just started getting into making hot patties and freezing them because we really love the hot patties. You can make waffles and freeze them in Ziploc bags. That's something that my kids really love too. And you find them in the freezer and they eat, if they eat them for breakfast, I'm like, I can make these waffles myself. I could put these in Ziploc bags and they can pop them into the toaster in the morning. Yeah. Also, another thing I do, boiling my peas. So when I'm about to cook peas and rice, or if I'm making curried chickpeas, peas take a long time to boil, so it's not something that everyone has to wait around on. I would have peas in my freezer, just readily available. Healthier than being in the can, tastier, and water from the peas actually give a good flavor. So after I throw off the first batch of water, I would use some of the other water from the peas to put in my soup and in my rice, and that gives it a really good flavor. Another thing that I find it's really helpful and maybe helpful for busy moms and dads, you can have a roster of meals. So one day if you want to cook homemade spaghetti, or 2 days, depending on how busy your schedule is, just have a roster, have a plan. So you don't, after work, you're not going in the food store, oh, what am I going to cook today? What am I going to cook today? Because life is busy and everyone could use more time with their families when they come home. So planning ahead has really helped me. Oh, couponing. Listen, I take advantage of every single coupon that I find. I shop on Walmart online sometimes if I don't feel like going out, um, or if I have to lift certain things that I don't want to lift. We'd have them shipped here. And certain manufacturers have coupons within the app purchase that you can add on at a later date. Walmart tends to do that. And so I you get cash back from Huggies, wipes, diapers, just even everyday household goods that you would purchase. They'd have buy two and you'd get $2 back. And those things add up. They really do add up. So sometimes when I'm about to check out my Walmart order, I'd have $7 cash back, and I just apply that to my order. And because our tax is already high here in Washington, so I'm happy to add that $7 to the checkout. Um, Another thing, purchasing in bulk really helps. It also it helps with cost, and it also helps with not having to go to the store when you about to cook rice. Oh, we order rice. Oh, I want to make this recipe I just found online. We don't have no flour. So planning in advance, have your oil, your seasonings, your beans, grits, flour. Having that everything on hand where finances permit really helps. Just that takes one stress off your shoulders. Having your products and your supplies in your pantry readily available.
What did it look like when you were still in Nassau doing these runs for your grocery list? So, you can't shop online per se because there's no Sam's Club, there's no Walmart. You have to go in. Like,
Yeah,
what did that look like when you still lived in Nassau?
that was really hectic. Solomon's, I remember Solomon's would have I would have a roster in my mind, and I was still strategic back then. Back then, I worked at Royal Bank, and I knew that Thursdays Solomon's and Super Value they brought out their fresh produce. And so what I would do, I'd stop to Super Value in the morning. I'd leave home extra early that Thursday. I'd stop to the food store in the morning. Um, because back then Rel would have had to been to work at 7. So I was had more flexible time, and so I stopped at Super Value in the morning before I go to work to get the fresh fruits before everyone start feeling over the grapes. Then I would also go on my lunch break. If I have to go to Chelsea's Choice, Solomon's, I had to pass Super Value and Solomon's. So I was always making strategic moves. I was always aware of what stores carry this. Little Generals may have had a certain item that I needed. Solomon's Fresh Market had like fresh salmon if we wanted to cook something special. So I was always using the paper. There isn't much of couponing in Nassau, but you would see the specials that maybe Super Value was offering that week. And then, Super Value and Solomon's would always have their fresh produce on Thursdays. So I was always aware and always cognizant of which store carried this and which store carried that, because I always wanted to provide my family with fresh fruits and veggies and just be on top of the savings.
I love that. It seems like you always have your family in mind, like
Yeah.
always thinking about my family, serving my family, and some Proverbs 31 woman. And that's exactly like she was focused on external, but also internal. And everything she did externally was because her focus was internal, and that benefited the home internally. So definitely love that. Love the example that you're setting for all of us. And so moving into like your process for the meat.
hmm Okay. I found it more economical to buy large logs of ground beef or your ground chicken, and when you purchase them from the store, they're not frozen; they're fresh. So you're able to take the whole log instead of taking that in the freezer, putting that taking the log, putting it in the freezer, and it could probably make 3 meals. You don't want to have to keep defrosting and freezing, defrosting, freezing. So what you can do is you can portion that right before you put that in the freezer, put them in Ziploc bags, flatten them, and then it also saves you space in the freezer. The family packs of chicken, I find that you're able to get more bang for your buck. Um, by purchasing a family pack, even if you don't have a large family, and you can do so many things. You can clean, season, and put them in the freezer for future use. So it's always more economical to buy more, and you can always stock it away for future use. Oh, listen. I I just love going around. I'm like my family's personal shopper. here in Washington, we grow a number of fruits and crops. So another thing that I love about Washington and persons in the United States and in the Bahamas and elsewhere, you may find that your church and civic organizations, they have like a surplus of crops. Um, our church focuses on, healthy living and eating. And if they have an abundance of crops in their yard or on their farm, what I love is that they bring it to church and they put it on the table, and you're free to take what you want. And it's in such abundance here. Like, for instance, it's blueberry season, and so there'll be blueberries, apples, pears right at the front of the church, and so you're free to take what you want. So just, you may not know this information, but just keep your eyes peeled. So my eyes are constantly peeled for my family, and it's something that I passionately enjoy. And fresh fruits, free, I'm there. You can also check on farmers markets. It's coming upon spring season, and so we have and we have farmers markets that I can't wait to just stroll through, on the weekend with my family. You get fresh fruits, organic. So just keep your eyes open for that. And then you also find great deals at these farmers markets, and actually visit the farms. Farms have great produce, free of some pesticides and all these extra stuff. So keep that in mind. That's an option too. So you could visit farms. We have some in Nassau as well. So use that. Take your family, make it a family outing. I know we can't wait to visit these farms and shop. Okay. Another thing you can do for persons who may not want meat. So just say, for instance, if Carl doesn't want meat, if he doesn't eat meat, you can just say you cook stir fry. You can cook a stir fry meal and then do a side of meat for your children or your family, whomever. Curry chickpeas is another alternative, really good. You can use all of the seasonings, the coconut milk, and everything that you would normally use to cook a pot of curry. No, I'm on live. Okay. So you can use all the seasonings that you would have used for curry, for that particular meal, just omitting the meat, and it's really, really good, healthy. Taco bar is another great option. We have a family friend that comes over, and her children dairy sensitive, and so that is something that we utilize, a taco bar. So you have your lettuce, tomatoes, your beans, your rice. So you can choose. It's like a buffet. You choose what you can eat. So that's another great alternative for persons who have special needs, special nutritional needs. I wake up in the morning and I get excited about serving my family, about cooking, about how I can wow them today. So just utilize that to switch it up. Blueberry waffles today. It doesn't always have to be waffles. Pancakes, apples, whatever is in season. Blueberries is in season. Strawberries. I'm just getting into making jams. So y'all will see some jams popping up on the timeline and the stories. How there's blueberries in seasons and strawberries. I'll be making blueberry jam, strawberry jam. Try new recipes. Don't be afraid to try. During 2020, when it was the pandemic and everybody was making those cinnamon rolls, listen to me. My first batch of cinnamon rolls was not pretty, okay? But practice makes perfect. So let your family be your test dummies. Just keep trying. Listen, we have to cook anyway. You can't run from it. If you have a family, you have to cook. So my old boss used to say, if you're skating on ice, you might as well dance. So if you're going down, you might as well go down. Not really down, but if you slide in, you might as well dance and slide at the same time. So you just make it fun. Don't think of it as a chore. God entrusted us with these people that we have to take care of, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, and I choose to find the joy in serving them, even on days when I'm tired, and this one is sick and that one is sick. I still choose to find the joy in serving them. Another thing you
That's
can
so
do, make
beautiful.
homemade pizza.
Oh,
Pardon?
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, make homemade pizza, with the family. Make it a family night instead of ordering pizza. $40, $50 for pizza. Make your own pizza, and that's where you can put your own toppings on it. Who doesn't want cheese, this kind of cheese, that kind of cheese, veggies, and make it a family night. That's what we do. My kids are in the kitchen a lot. My boys love the kitchen more than my daughter, but I'm happy that they have a love for cooking as well, and so yeah. Yeah,
What
allow your
about
kids
on
in your.
days when you feel overwhelmed? Like when I does someone go in the kitchen today, or I don't feel like it today. How do you approach those days? Does the pre-planning help you,
Yeah,
or
the
do you
pre-planning,
have those days? Okay, good.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was the question. Like, with those
Okay,
days when you feel so overwhelmed and stressed, like the last
yeah,
thing I want to do is see a kitchen,
yes,
oven, a
cook.
stove. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's something that you can't run from. When they come home from school, they're gonna want something to eat. I can't say, "Oh, I don't feel like cooking today, so y'all can't eat." Um, some days you can make. Some days you can have breakfast for dinner. If you feel like eating pancakes and eggs, waffles, whatever, you could have that for dinner if that's what you want. You know. Also, I have the whole day to plan. So even if I had a rough night with the baby, um, I have the entire day before they come home to muster up the strength. And prayer goes a long way. So Lord, give me the strength to just knock up something for these children. You could have craft dinner on hand and tuna if that's something that your kids like. Somewhere throughout the day, I'll find the strength to say, "Oh, let me hurry up, knock up this rice." And while your rice cooking, if you have laundry to do, that's what I do. I have to strategize. While the rice is on the stove, I put in a load of clothes. And while the rice simmering, and if the rice finished, and I working on something else, I'll grab a pack of meat out the freezer that's pre-seasoned, put that in some water. When that load of clothes finished, put it in the dryer, and then put the next load in. So, and then I could be back in my bed if it's something that I don't feel well that day, or if the baby had me up all night, or whatever the case may be. So the kids have to eat. So you have to find the strength and you have to be creative, but pre-planning helps. And then too, if you have leftovers, that's even better.
Okay, I know the first time we saw a photo of the food, we just skim right through. But talk us through these dishes before we move on to
Okay.
the next part.
Okay. This to my left, this was some purple potatoes. These potatoes was in abundance, okay? For very cheap. And they're purple potatoes, and I just had to be creative, I made some fries, but the fries were not pretty because they were dark when they hit the oil. So I said, you know what, I want to make something creative. I want to brighten this up. And I said, I went online, ways to use purple potatoes, and I saw images of mashed potatoes. So that's what I did. And this is New Zealand lamb chops. This was on sale that I had in my freezer, and I always usually have vegetables. Excuse me. So I was like, this is a great pairing, So this is lamb chops, pan seared and then baked. So it's something that you could like put in the baker for an hour, and then mashed potatoes don't take long. So this looks fancy, but having your items on hand, you could easily knock up something like that. Like this is minimal effort. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but yeah. So that's the breakdown of that photo to the left,
Well,
and
let
then
us know it's easy because that would encourage us to do it more.
yeah. So it's
So,
just mashed potatoes, but it was
if you
purple potatoes.
pre-season food, Could it
Mhm.
potentially get too salty in the freezer, or does the
Yeah,
freezing slow down the marination?
right. That's a great point. Great question. I find that when you pre-season your food, it does taste a little saltier. So what you do, you step back. You don't season it as high as if you were going to cook it right away. So that's a great point. And from experience, I learned that as well. Just step back on the salt. Also, I don't use seasoning salt. That's just something that I don't do because seasoning salt is just salt with the other spices. So I use sea salt instead of seasoning salt, and I add my own garlic powder, onion powder. So seasoning sea salt, sorry, has a better flavor, and it's said to be healthier, more minerals in it for you. So I just use less sea salt in my meat that I'm going to put in the freezer. Now the ground beef, I don't season that, but like the chicken or any other meat that I plan to freeze, I would just drop back on the seasoning. Just take it down a notch if you're going to freeze it.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Moving into
Yes.
your cooking tips.
Yeah. So like I said, I prepare my meat in advance. When you come from the store, if you're not too tired, I try to save energy for this. You can portion your meat in bags to put in the freezer. If it's a family pack and you want to save space, I'll season well in advance. While you're cooking, avoid cross contamination. Don't use the same utensils or knives that you cutting up your chicken with. Oh, I need to go cut up these bell peppers. And then you only use half a bell pepper. And that same knife that you cut up your chicken with, you rubbing that through your bell pepper. And now you have a half a bell pepper that has chicken fat and chicken guts on it. So you avoid cross contamination. Wipe as clean as you go. Um, and I find that quality ingredients make your food taste so much different. Where finances allow, um, don't, if you, and especially if you're trying to make a special dish, for instance, vanilla, imitation vanilla will not be the same, give you the same taste and quality as, excuse me, as pure vanilla extract. So that's something that you could consider. Also, like jasmine rice. Some people don't like jasmine rice, but that's a preference for me and my family. It does taste different. But like I said, I don't want to dictate anybody's pockets or their finances, but that's something that works for us. Um, and from cooking for a number of years, I find that quality ingredients produce quality results. And invest in your quality tools if that's something that you're beginning to venture into, and you care about your presentation and you want to take pictures and share them. Quality tools. People may say, oh, you could use this any kind of knife. No, there are different tools serve different purposes, and also make sure you have a sharp knife. It does make all the difference. So like I have a special drawer with my tools. My kids help me in the kitchen. So we have three sets of measuring cups. I have a set of measuring cups in the drawer. They're not allowed to touch. They're not allowed to touch certain knives because when you making concoction over there in the kitchen, when I need to cook, I need to have my special knives ready for when I need to give my fruits or veggies a clean, sharp cut. So quality tools make all the difference. Oh,
I love that. What's funny is when I first started Wifer, this is exactly the type of stuff I thought we'd be learning. And it was way more basic than this because, I lost my mom young. And so I started Wifer wanting to learn these things. And it's simple as how to cut my vegetables properly. So I think, Shamel, when you start the YouTube, start from the very basics because people like me, I mean, I doing fine because I feel like we just have it in us, to just I was gonna say, especially as a Lutheran woman, but I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know, you don't know,
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's little things that, like you say, the utensils would make such a huge difference
Mm-hmm.
in even the cut. And so I think starting there is so good. For those of us like in my position who kind of had to raise yourself and do the twists and turns to get it right, and now we have families and stuff like that. So I'm really personally enjoying the conversation. I see the ladies are enjoying it as well. And so y'all, let's continue. That's just my little plug. Oh, and you
Okay.
said something. The boss said. I wanted to roll back to that too. So what's the comment your boss made?
Oh,
If you
if
skate on ice, you might as
you might
well
as well
dance.
dance.
You might as well dance. And I just want to go to the topic of today, which is, stretching your budget. And my aunt would say, put a rubber band around your money and stretch it. So that's where the theme came from for today. Put a
Mm,
rubber band around your money and stretch it. Meaning in breaking it down, Urban Dictionary, Bahamian Dictionary, is essentially stretching every dollar. Number one, putting the rubber band around it, making sure you account for everything. And
mm-hmm.
then two, stretching the rubber band, stretching, not just stretching the rubber band, but stretching the money, right?
Yeah.
Being intentional about every dollar is spent. And that's
Yeah.
how this topic came about.
Yeah. I'm
So let me
watching
continue.
every penny because everything adds up. Um, yeah. So, you know, sometimes I hate clutter, but at the same time, I love having all of my different cooking apparatus. So I love having my wok. I love having several dish frying pans. I have a frying pan that has like ridges in it, and I use that to get the ridges on my bread if I'm making garlic bread. So different kitchenware achieve different textures and give you like a restaurant look. Um, so having these different apparatus in your kitchen, it does help. Can you go back one slide, please? Okay. Now I always say this. I said, God, I'm just like you. I don't waste anything. So if I have overripe bananas, I am going to make banana bread because coming from the Bahamas, I know, and I'm with my people. um I know we have it a little better financially with having cheaper foods in the store. So I just can't see myself letting some bananas go to waste, and or anything that can be reused. Listen, Carl, 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 stay laughing at me, but I know that he appreciates me being that Proverbs 31 woman and stretching and making our money work for us. So let me give you all this joke. He say you born in June 8 because he was a June. So he has this. He asked me if I born in June because I'm a June, so because I like to stretch our dollars, and I just can't see anything waste. Yeah, so you could use the carcass of the whole chicken when you're done. I know about using that the turkey carcass to make pea soup and dumpling, you know. Right. So we don't waste anything. You can use that to make chicken broth. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. You can use um a lot of things, turn that into something else. So don't waste, guys.
Shout out to husband because I did see him on. Mr. Stewart
Yeah.
is on. Shout out to
Yeah, that's
Mr.
that's our
Stewart.
joke. But I just wanted to share that. I just don't believe in wasting.
I see you have this last comment here about plating.
Oh yes. Yeah, I like to take up my food when, first of all, I like my family to eat just as the food is done. So it can be nice and hot, and I don't have to go back in the kitchen and take it up. So, right, that pea soup after Christmas is be amazing. So I like, as a commenter said, so I like to take up my food, and then the rice tends to clump up in the pot, and you just achieve different results when you take up your food right away, nice and hot, and you get that steam if you wish to take a photo. So taking up your food right away is a pro tip.
So again, we have a picture of some of your plating. We have the rice, nice and cupped. And what was
Yeah.
this meat?
On the right,
Yeah.
that's sesame chicken. Um, that was a favorite of ours, me and my coworkers, when we worked in Royal Bank. So I just sent it to our group chat. I was like, y'all, look what I cooking today. There's some sesame chicken. Um, so I was paying homage to our days in the bank, um, with that sesame chicken. And also, I as I shared in the slides, putting your food on a different, I see it as, as art and photography. Putting your food on a different, on a contrasting backdrop really causes the food to pop. So you see how I have this white rice and this brown chicken. I put that on a black plate, because if I serve white rice, it's not going to give that same effect as if I serve white rice on a white plate. And then these to the left is the birria tacos. It's like brownish beige. It wouldn't give that same effect as if I serve that on a dark plate. So plating, it said that we eat with our eyes. So you want to make the person want to eat the food just by looking at it. So that's my goal. And no, I'm not serving this to the president or in a fancy restaurant, but my kids, I'm on the stage for my kids and my family. So that's my goal every day, and that's my personal goal.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. You are calling us up higher in every regard because first you're saying, okay, this is how you go to the food store, you plan your meals ahead of time. Number one, I'm the person who is like, okay, what we eating today? It's Sunday. I forgot to take the lamb. Really, y'all, this for me. This is for me. But you're calling us up higher because you're saying not only do you prep, but I would spend my day thinking about how I'm going to cater to my family at the end of the day. Then you go into I got utensils to cater to my family. Then you go into like I don't want to give them the same thing, so I get creative. Then you saying I gotta have different plates. I only have white in my cupboard, y'all. So she is saying, no, you need to have different colors for presentation. And I know because my husband he's a visual eater. He loves to show his appreciation for people through him eating, right? That's how he'll show he appreciates,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
when I serve him food and when I cook, like I get the most compliments ever. So I can't imagine his face if I plate him food and I pick a different plate based on the color of the food. Like he
food
will
you're
feel so
serving.
loved
Yeah.
in that moment. I know that's my husband. I don't know if anyone else is like that too.
Oh yeah, Carl is in
Some
the
people
kitchen
saying
dancing, y'all, when I cook.
calling up higher and mashing corn at the same time. That's what we need
Yeah.
as wives, as women aspiring to be P31 because you're taking it up like a whole different degree. In just it's the intentionality for me. So someone saying, yeah, buy the black plates. I'm sure you even
And
have different
yeah,
size dishes,
let me tell y'all,
bold plates.
I'm not
Mhm.
gatekeeping. Listen, it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go to IKEA. I got those black plates from Dollar Tree. They're $1.25 each. So go to Dollar Tree if you can. Like my eyes are always paired, looking how I can improve that, but not spending the hard-earned money. You understand?
I love that. And so okay, so let's go into the paper plates arena. I know as a look at her face, she pulled back and the smile going body language. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the paper plates. Like I know you probably saying I wouldn't give that to my family because you view this as a way as an expression of love. But some parents maybe aren't in that they may be in that oh god particular
Specific.
arena
Mhm.
within their current lifestyle. It just may be that season of life where paper plates may be needed. So what's what are your thoughts? I see someone say my Grammy say never serve my
Come
man
on,
paper plates.
paper plates. I agree. I agree. That's just I don't want to mash any corns, but that's just a standard for me. Another thing, paper plates don't pair well with super hot food. I like to serve my food just as it's cooked, and depending on how hot the food is, the paper plate would like shrivel up a bit. Um, I don't have paper plates. I don't buy them, but I don't mind washing the plates. I just love to serve my family on ceramic plates, even not even plastic plates, but ceramic. So it's just a preference. But if that's the season you're in, then you know you can do what's best for your family. I don't mind washing the dishes. Well, now I just started using the dishwasher, but um, but it's just I serve them as if they're in a restaurant. So you wouldn't want to be served a paper plate at a restaurant. So that's just my styling.
Let's park here again. So again, y'all, I am TM project. Well, not TM. Let me not say TM because I may be in error, so I'm not gonna call it TM. But I think in a project management perspective, where I do this, you do that, we finish quick, right? So I'm hearing you say, I think that you cook, you serve, you clean up, and you wash dishes.
Well,
That's
yeah, um, yeah. Carl is fulfilling his duties to the country, so he is not here right now. Usually he would help, and the kids would help, but the perfectionist in me, I still have to go behind my kids. Um, but the dishwasher has been doing an amazing job, so that has been a great help to me. But yeah, I that's my they're my life work. That this is my 9 to 5, not really 9 to 5, but this is my career right now. This is my duty to serve my family, and I do the whole 9 yards. I like to a spotless kitchen. Um, and that's another thing that I wanted to share, Zemi. Um, and I wanted to call myself out for this as well. You know, I had to listen to God, and through my child, my daughter, Sapphire, I was afraid to start sharing my work, right? I was being an introvert, number one, and then pride. I let pride get the best of me because I said, "Oh, we're not in our house yet. I don't want to share my work until I have this aesthetically pleasing kitchen." You know, I don't want people to see me with this kitchen, but this isn't even our house. And so I was just letting these trivial things stop me from sharing my work. So I just wanted to call myself out for that. And my daughter told me, "Mommy, I made we made some fries, I think last week before last." And I was like, "Man, I'm not even gonna post this reel." Because I was like, "This only fries. What is fries?" And Safi said, "Mommy, post the video." And I listened to Safi, and that video is almost at 200,000 views. And had I not listened to her and had I let pride continue to take a chokehold of me, I wouldn't be able to share my work. And so, you know, God is taking me out of that comfort zone, and you don't have to wait for perfect weather before you set sail. You could start right where you are. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting one foot in front of the next and stepping out on faith, because even sharing on this platform is a lot for me. So I just wanted to share that.
I love that. And you are absolutely beautiful. And so even going on live talking like this to the people, I don't want you to be scared to only show your food. You're not showing your face. I mean, all the things, because God has uniquely designed you head to toe for such a time as this to yuck up the ladies by setting a personal standard. And see, the people here, don't wait for perfect weather before
You
you
set
set
sail.
sail. McDonald's is just fries. Chamel's sweet and fries is gourmet
I'm
fries,
almost done.
honey.
I'm almost done.
Ladies say, yes, you are
Yeah.
beautiful. Great job. I'm
Thank you.
encouraged. I'm tucked. I think they
What?
meant yucked.
Oh.
I am yucked. And so moving this very, very gracefully into food styling.
Yeah, so if you've seen one of my Thanksgiving or Christmas spreads, Um, you would notice that I utilize different shapes, sizes, heights, bowls, plates, versus having everything just on one level platform. It creates dimension and like a wow experience, and I'm an artist first. That's my passion. My passion is art. And so I use art in my cooking, and I utilize the color wheel. So if I'm going to bake a chicken, um, I don't want to bake a brown chicken, brown rice, beets, and green beans. That's not attractive. That's not pleasing. That person will eat that if like they'll not be enticed to eat it. But if I do a baked chicken, then I'll probably side it with some turmeric rice. Then I could pop in the beets, pop in the cauliflower, not the cauliflower, the broccoli and the carrots. And look at that. Think of that already. That's already a colorful plate, like an experience on the plate, And then don't let it taste. On top of that, don't let it taste good. It's gonna create a wow factor. So, like I said, having a plate full of all dark foods would look less attractive on a colorful plate. Um, yeah, so I utilize the color wheel, and I'm like, okay, orange would pop off a yellow background like that, and then I was like, you know what, I'll hit it with a aqua plate to serve it on, and yeah, and that's how I work. That's how I work my food. And they said we eat with our eyes. So the thing is, Carl is not that picky, and kids are not, um, that picky. But that's me. That's me. I just love serving them in that capacity. And Carter's like, "Oh, mommy, you don't even have to do all of that." I'm like, "Yes, I do. I do." So take this, please. Yeah.
I love that. I am absolutely amazed, and I love this. And y'all, I was the one who was looking through the presentation, and even then, I didn't want to tell y'all should really be here, but y'all should really be here. And like, I think this is Ladonia saying she'll invite you to date night 411. That's so the ladies could get like a little bit more personal,
Okay.
um, with um, just all your tips and tricks. Not tricks,
Mm-hmm.
strategies. But I saw a great question here. Um, So, has your family made you feel, or friends, made you feel guilty for being a homemaker and not rejoining the workforce? And not only that, I don't even think it's like being a homemaker and rejoining the workforce, but when you say don't take all that, I'm sure you heard it often. It don't take all that. So, how do you respond to stuff like that and be comfortable and confident in how you show up for your family?
I didn't get to hear your question. You said, "How did you?" I didn't hear
Just
you.
the one on the screen. How do you feel for being a homemaker, not rejoining the workforce, even when friends say they make little comments like it don't take all that or you do that, but I'm not doing that type thing. How do you respond to that?
Um, Someone commented on one of my videos. Sorry, and in reply to one of my stories, and it wasn't a comment, but I wasn't rude about it. They said, "Well, you have plenty energy." Actually, I don't. As a mom with 4 kids, I have no more energy than you with your 2 kids. You know, um, but this is the season that I'm in right now, and I am grateful to God. Let me tell y'all, let me give you a little story. This is something that I truly desired, and I made a plea to God. I was also on the workforce in the Bahamas, day in and day out. I spent 8 years of my life. I gave 8 years of my life to Royal Bank. And so I know what it's like to be on the quote unquote plantation. I don't mean to offend anyone if I use that word, but so I'm relishing in this season of my life that I'm in. So no one has come to me with any rude remarks, but um everything has been positive from my mother-in-law, my mom. You're doing amazing with those children. So this is a job in and of itself, but you are just those years that I gave to Royal Bank. I can't get them back, and I'm actually mad about that. I made a status on my Facebook, and that is so important that what we think could become a reality. And I made a status and I said, I can't wait until I'm that soccer mom driving my kids to practice in my van, in my minivan. And I think that was maybe about 7 years ago that the Facebook status showed up in my memory. And I'm like, Lord, I am living in that prayer. I'm living in that request and that expectation from you. So I am in all my glory, to be honest, And yes, it's hard. It's hard. Some days there are tears, but you have to choose your heart. Being on the workforce is hard too, But I'm so glad that God allowed me to serve in this capacity and, give me the opportunity along with Carl to allow me to be that stay-at-home mom, So I'm grateful for Carl, and I'm grateful that God allowed me to walk this path. So I feel fulfilled. I feel totally fulfilled in this role. So I don't take this lightly. And I know that God wants me here, and I'm able to watch my children grow and just be with them right after they come from school, find out how their day was, and from morning to night. And I'm truly living a dream, and I know I'm living others' dreams. And if that is what you desire, then you speak to God about that. And I'm happy that I'm walking in that right now. And I don't feel any less accomplished than someone who is on the man's job, clocking in and clocking out. So I feel fulfilled.
I love that. And we see all of that grace on you. And I want to leave this comment up a little bit because that's exactly what I saw. I was like, man, her and Sasha would be great friends. So, Sasha, I don't know if you're going to watch this, but something about you did remind me of Sasha. And I think y'all would like really, really connect. So, definitely, I'm going to make sure that happens if you're not already connected. So, that's the word serve. Viewing it through the lens of service is so good. And a lot of these women here, they don't really know your story. They don't know that, you lost your husband suddenly and you probably had to show up for your family through the pain and the grief that you were going through. So let's go there a little bit. Like when you still have to cook, because you still have three young mouths, like how old was your youngest when your husband passed away?
Carson was 2 when Rel passed. Carter Safi was 7, and Carter had just turned 6 the week when Rel passed. So um and from he passed, and like I shared on my Facebook, I lost my job the day after I buried him. The day after. So we buried him on Sunday, and I lost
Isn't
my
that
job on Monday.
illegal? I saw you post that, but isn't that illegal? That isn't illegal in the
Well,
Bahamas.
I was still, this wasn't with Royal Mike. I was still in probation. Let me tell you,
At another, oh,
let me tell you something, Zemi. At that point, there's a saying, and I love Proverbs and things that I can relate to. When you have been through a hurricane, you're not bothered by the showers or the rain. So that was the least of my worries. I'm like, you know what? One door closed. It was a new day for me. So I wasn't even worried. I didn't even bother to investigate that. But yeah. So I still had to show up for my family, and ever since Rel passed, like I had to go in overdrive and take care of my family, and yeah. Yeah, I truly believe, and I'm grateful that Carl stepped in and chose to help me raise, my family. And he said, you need help, and I'm willing to help you. And he took on that mantle, and my parents gave me my blessing. And, being on a small island, I just wanted to get away. I wanted I wanted to turn a new leaf and just start a new life, really, because it was a sudden loss, very
hmm.
traumatic, and I just wanted a new experience for me and my children. And it's been a blessing, when I feel like it was orchestrated by God.
And
So
we are so proud of you. Like, seeing it play out. Um, Even the level of intentionality you had towards Rao when he passed away, the level of honor you displayed, the grace, you still like, grieving, and just the even intentionally in the funeral outfits, like everything was so intentional. And even as a new wife, and I'm thankful to your current husband who allows you to still honor the memory of your first husband,
Mm-hmm.
because that takes a lot of strength and grace, but he gives you
Yes.
room to say, I
Mm-hmm.
missed, or, because he'll always be a part of your life. I'm sorry, and your children, the youngest son, he looks just like his daddy, just a light skinned
Yes.
version, and
Yeah.
so just the fact that he gives, he extends that grace to be able to celebrate this person who helped to cultivate and shape the wife that you are today. And so definitely love that. And you see the people saying, big up to Carl.
Mm-hmm.
We are so proud of you. Wow, that's so beautiful. Strength. She don't play this, she lives it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, or someone tagging someone, and then the hearts, people are sharing, all of that. And so it's evident. I want people to know, like, people are watching, like, I'm not just saying that to Mel, but people are watching how you live, how you honor, how you serve, how you show up, especially if this is how you present yourself, right? Um, but definitely, and we are taking notes. Like, we are becoming better wives because of the example that you set. I'm sure people are being better husbands because of the example Carl set. Even how they saw Rel love on you, like he was
Mm-hmm.
proud of his, he was proud of his wife, proud of his family, and just, and all of the things. And so just wanted to commend you there. We will have the IG at the end and her Facebook at the end. And I didn't leave that out, of course.
Mm-hmm.
She said she don't gatekeep. I don't gatekeep. Keep your trust in God. And I say they're
Mm-hmm.
taking plenty notes. So gonna move on to our next thing is have more notes on food styling.
Oh yeah. So um a little garnish goes a long way, guys. Use your parsley. Parsley is like, I think, $1. The cilantro, microgreens, and they're also healthy. So you can just sprinkle them on the top. Plate your rice, get a mini bowl, just flip that upside down, sprinkle it on top. Something else, the scallions or green onions. They taste amazing, and just sprinkle them right over your food to give it that pop. So a little garnish goes a long way, guys. Yeah. So the picture on the left, you wanted me to speak on that, Demi?
Yes, of course. Mhm.
Okay. So the picture doesn't do it much justice, but that plate on the left, on my left, is an aqua plate. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks white, but it's an aqua plate, and you could see how the turmeric rice pops off of that. I have my um carrots, Brussels sprouts, and you could see the grilled lines. Aqua, okay. The grilled lines of the chicken. That's where I use my grill pan to, give different texture to the meat. So all of these little things come into play when I'm presenting, and that's cilantro that I just sprinkle on top of the rice and use the bowl to turn upside down and present the food. And then over to the right, that was some right black and aqua. Aqua is really a nice color to give a pop. And then that plate on the right is a black plate. And of course, that wouldn't have looked good with white powdered sugar and butter pecan ice cream. So then I used a black plate to make that dish pop. Masterclass, huh? Yeah. So you see how you just take these plates and present that to someone, and you would get a wow experience. And they, like I said, it's only $1.25 at Dollar Tree, so nothing expensive. Yeah, right. 2 cups of rice, 2 cups takes away, but you could just serve a side of rice if it's a must that you present the rice. The one like me, I would just give an additional bowl of rice on the side. Show up,
I
serve
love
as
that tip. Yes.
serving unto the Lord.
So you
Yes.
would just put it in a bowl.
Yeah.
You put the cup and then some more rice in a bowl,
Yeah.
or
The
you just serve the
initial
rice in a bowl. Period.
Yeah, you could serve the rice. Like someone said, husband wanted 2 portions, but it doesn't look as cute.
Mhm.
So I just told the person, the commenter, to serve a side dish of rice if you don't want to mess up the plating with the aesthetics. Just
Yes,
serve
that's good. That's a good tip.
right, a side of rice.
Godly wisdom and creativity. Yes, love this. And then this is a good question. How do you come up with the ingredients? Do you follow a cookbook?
Great question, Latoya. So actually, I don't follow a cookbook, but I will be having my cookbook come out this year, in time for Thanksgiving. So you could stay tuned for that. Follow my page, and Zami will drop that later on. But no, I I think experience, just going off of creativity, you learn which foods taste good with what. Um, you learn through cooking. You can just Google recipes, and through cooking and experience, you learn that certain meats taste good with certain sauces, certain certain sorry, my kids. So you learn, like, you learn, and you use those skills that you would acquire, and you build and you build and you build. But no, I don't have a cookbook that I follow. I'll go online, practice,
This is a
tweak
good
it.
question.
Uh-huh.
Are you dropping a cookbook soon?
Yes, well, for Thanksgiving, the cookbook should be ready, but I am working on a cookbook that I will
I
provide
love it.
details
Love it.
on. Yeah.
Y'all get ready to support in numbers
Yes.
because you are supporting a homemaker who is showing up for all of us. So whatever the price is, double it, Schamell, because we
All
about it,
right.
okay? Double it.
Okay.
So yeah, someone said that's good for portion control,
Yeah.
cupping the rice, and then Ladonia with the I, because we have two Ladonias.
Lasagna.
She
Okay.
said, remember her name. So Ladonia has wifey cohort. She's a wife coach, wifey's to be coach, and she does something called y'all said it here, 411 date night 411. So
Okay.
that's when the wives come together and they do more hands-on stuff together on a Zoom. And so she would love you to be on date night 411 because the girls
Sure.
need it. Exactly. So,
My
and these
pleasure.
are things too that Shamel, like you, can be encouraged and empowered to do these too because you got it. You know,
Thank you.
like we're showing you that we're gonna show up for you no matter what it is that you do. So, the person who was saying do the YouTube because I search far and wide on YouTube for people I trust, people who have good food, good presentation. And sometimes I just mute the video, look and hear. I just like to listen. I'll replay it a bunch of times. And every time I play it over and over, that person playing it over and over, that's income. That's ching,
Yeah.
ching,
Yeah.
ka-ching, ka-ching. Exactly. So the same way Safi say, Mommy, post the fries. Listen to the
Mm-hmm.
friend who said, Shamel, YouTube, it's time. It is time, y'all. Right? Say it is time in the comments. Exactly. She say, "Look out, Martha Stewart," and she got the name. Like I got the right spelling. You got the other spelling, but
Mm-hmm.
still, you are the new Martha Stewart. The better. I can say the better version. We don't do the comparative here, but you are the island version, right? The spice queen, the presentation queen. You are the Schamell Stewart. She ain't gotta be Martha, y'all. She ain't gotta be Martha. She is Schamell Stewart, new chef in town. So if they say, "Go girl, I'm purchasing." Yes, bring the cookbook. I'm ready for the cookbook. I will definitely
Yes.
buy in the cookbook. I'm ready for the cookbook. And y'all, I don't care what the price is. Purchase. Oh, that's baby girl. Okay. Okay. So no matter what the price is, let's support because it's not just about the resource. It's also about the support. Don't worry, we like the sound. We like the sound of crying here. We love the sound of babies. Uh, sisterhood, you got it, girl. We are here for you. We miss your cooking. Someone say miss your cooking. Is it mommy?
Yeah.
Curry, come home, cook for mommy. Oh, I love that, mommy. That's great. Thank you for coming on. Can't wait. I love Safi for that. Yes, it's time. It's time. It's time.
It's
It
time.
is
It's time.
time. Exactly. Always in her chat. Some people say they always in your chat, always begging you for recipes. They asking what you making for
Mm-hmm.
dinner tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm making steak and penny pasta with corn and garlic bread. Um, I knew I was coming on, so I boiled my pasta, which and I don't usually do, but I oh sorry guys. I instead of boiling the pasta all the way, I did it a little less than al dente. So when I drop it back into the pot of my heavy cream and cheese, it could finish cook because if I had cooked it all the way, when I put it in my heavy cream, it'll be too mushy. So in the interest of time and to give some time to this, my steak is already seasoned from last night, and I cooked the pasta. The garlic bread is in the freezer, already buttered, and parsley on that, and I just have to boil the corn. So
Well,
I'm
Chanel,
halfway
she
there.
didn't even leave exactly going live as an excuse. The food is in preparation.
Hmm.
So if my husband had this, I'll have no excuses. You don't take all. You got
Yeah,
4 kids, you know, all the excuses I would have throw up, like you have them and you still doing it. And so we really have no excuse. And it's not even about energy, y'all. For a lot of us, it's not, let's be real, it's not about energy. It's about the intentionality. It's about
yeah,
making it a priority. And once you do in that management, exactly this person said management and stewardship,
hmm,
you know, someone say that's what we need. Oh, that's what we need next. I mean, packing kids' lunch for school. I'm sure she does that too.
yeah.
So, but I exactly. So that's another thing people want to see, like how you would pack the lunches and stuff like that.
Well,
Um, let's see. I look up
yeah.
to Mel to save me, girl. I can't wait for this cookbook because it will add some spice to my marriage, and it is that deep, y'all. The cooking can impact the marriage. Like I say, I don't get more compliments from my husband than when I cook. It ain't about the dress and the heels. It's about when you cook.
Yeah.
I don't know, but definitely, someone says definitely got yucked. Um, exactly. So I really, really appreciate it. And now, y'all, questions. I don't know if we still have questions.
So
My husband
nice.
always saying, "You see what Shamel cooked today."
Oh, yes, yes. It's so funny. It's so
Time.
funny.
It's
Brittany, tell
time.
me what Ashton says. Wait, cousin. Okay, you could go just so happy. Hold on. Okay? All right. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, so it's time management. You know you only have a limited amount of time, so you have to it helps me not to get overwhelmed, helps me not to have anxiety. Like I already clean up as much as I could have, and I've already washed and dried clothes. So, and I halfway prepared food. So, you just have to manage your time well. Just manage your time well.
Definitely. And I would love a deep dive on this development of the roster. Even to see, because some people see an apple and they
Mm-hmm.
just see an apple, and some people see an apple and they see apple pie, apple
Mm-hmm.
crumble. They see apple as a garnish, but then there's some of us, and I won't say which side of the spectrum I fall on. We just see this apple, right? So we need a little extra coaching in terms
Yeah.
of, how to see like the meat section. And I know when you go into the meat section, your brain is probably saying meal, 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 meal. Some of us don't see it that way, and just need a little bit more help in that conversion. So, definitely, y'all tune into when LaDonya drops 411 because you'll probably learn a lot of those things and you'll have the intimate time to pull up on Shamel and ask questions in Zoom. So don't miss it. So definitely, and also Shamel, like go live on us, like do some girl time with us, especially on Instagram. I know because that's the community that you're building, and definitely like spending some time to answer the questions because we got questions. We got questions. Or even talk us through a meal that you cooked that day and why you chose a certain plate, all of those things, like it's so easy. I know sometimes make it seem hard, but like you say, it don't have to be perfect. Just come out the gate and show up. And
Mm-hmm.
we love that. And someone say go live cooking. We don't care. Your kitchen probably look
Yeah,
better than like ours anyway.
when I have a little bit of support because I'm running, baby's running around, and
We love
sometimes it just need a little
because that's
extra.
real life. That's real
Yeah,
life. That's exactly what we have going on as
one day
well.
I'll build up the
And we don't
courage
need a
to.
exactly. Okay, well we'll take that, y'all. We'll take it. We'll take that she's
Yeah,
gonna build up the courage. So I won't keep you any longer. I truly appreciate you coming on board tonight, y'all. I just be popping up on people saying, "Hey, that's the season that I'm in. I'm in a pop up season, and Shamel is so grateful. She said yes. And so really appreciate, all of the, all of your intentionality, even with this presentation. How someone says, how like how summer is coming? Do you change it up? I'm not sure what they mean. Do you understand?
I mean, in terms of main dishes, not really, because my kids like. I know some people would think that soup is more suitable in the winter, but if my kids, because my we really love pea soup and dumpling, I'll cook that year round. But I plan to do more pies, coconut tarts, especially how fruits are a lot of fruits are coming in season, but summer dishes like main courses, I cook anything anytime, any time of the year. So I'd cook a big hearty pea soup and dumpling in the summer, but
Mhm.
more
I'm mad at
dishes.
that, y'all. I'm not mad
Yeah,
at that. 'Cause
yeah.
I'll eat that any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And the original of the Bahamas were the natives, so the Arawaks, and they would cook a pot and they'd leave that pot on for weeks and they just add to it. So they have this huge pot of
Mm-hmm.
soup and they're just adding their lizard. They add in their, ground provisions. They just continue to add to it so that the pot is constantly changing for weeks. And I always took that away from social studies because that's what essentially the pot is like, right? When you cook in that
Mm-hmm.
pea soup and dumpling, like it has different flavors, different aromas, especially the next day. It tastes even better than the first day. So definitely love a good soup. And so someone
Mm-hmm.
said, I just love that we're gleaning from this. So I just want to say thank you. I'll pray
Yeah.
um, and then close us out. I know you have to finish prep. Say cooking card chaos, the content I want to see. So don't be afraid to show up no matter how it is, because we need to see that because that's what we have at home. We have the crying baby. Like sometimes I have to hold
Mm-hmm.
my son and try to open the oven without burning his, like all the things, like that's real life,
Definitely.
right? And so don't
Yeah.
be afraid to show up that way. So someone says we'd love to see you live on the soup. So definitely the girls are ready
Probably.
to show up.
Well, now that I know you, that's what
Any?
you want to see.
Oh,
I'm
go
open
ahead.
to. No, I'm saying now that you'd want to see that. I know Talia just went live on the weekend. I popped in to watch that, and that's exactly how it is. The kids talking, but that's real life. And maybe one day I can do that too.
Exactly. I just wanted to pull up this so you guys can see her Facebook, Shamel Sweeting her name. Instagram is so_Shamel. Go and follow. Go and follow to be in the know for when she does go live, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
y'all see a couple months pass and she hasn't gone live, y'all make sure to just give her a little nudge.
Buzz,
Yes, she's
yeah.
such a gift. Such a gift. If y'all want to
Oh,
send her Walmart gift cards so she could go to the food store, you're more than welcome to as
yes.
well.
I can do. Yeah,
Let me.
I'm open. My wallet is open to that. So, and then if you want me to cook
So
something
go ahead.
special, if you have a special dish, you'd say, "Hey, can you cook this?" or "Show me how you cook this." I'm open to that too. Oh, thank you.
So John's coming to
Yeah.
you for just that. So yeah, stay tuned. Exactly. So let me just pray. I was like, I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
Johnny's saying. Consider it done. So Lord, I thank you for your daughter. I thank you, Lord God, for her spirit of excellence. I thank you, oh God, for her heart, for her family. I thank you, Lord, that she is an example of team too much in the best way possible, Lord. She is your P31 example, the modern day example to show us that it is possible with the right heart, Lord. So I pray that today that you would prick all of us to have the right heart posture towards our families, towards our husbands, towards our children, so that we can show up this way for our families. We may not do it in the same way, Lord, but just give us the extra boost of energy to be intentional about how we steward our families, how we show up for our families, to be extra for them, to love on them, even from the way that we consider the ingredients, the plating, the garnishes, all of these things, Lord. I pray, oh God, that you would cultivate in us a heart to serve, a heart for service, Lord, because you have set before us today an excellent example. I pray that you continue to bless her children, bless her husband, keep her husband safe as he is currently serving, Lord God, and also keep her safe and Keep her protected and empowered, Lord God, as she shows up for her family, even while he may be abroad, Lord God. He may be placed in another state. So I pray that you continue to protect her as she goes to and fro, Lord God. Protect her children as they go to and fro, and even continue to guide and order her steps, Lord, for her to uncover new beautiful places, new farms, new immersive experiences in food, new connections, new opportunities, Lord God, for her to continue to grow in her gift. And so, Lord, I thank you. May you continue to bless her. May you continue to expand her influence and her reach to inspire all of us, not just about the food, Lord, but about the intentionality to serve our families and to show up this way, Lord. So that is our greatest takeaway today, to show up with the heart of service and the intentionality towards our families, to think about our families all through the day, not think about how tired we are, but to think about how, with this energy that I have, how can I still show up and serve my family? Not to think, oh, I'm so tired, I can't wait for my bed, but Lord, instead to shift our perspective to think, how can I, with this, the way that I feel, with the energy that I have, show up for my family, even from this place? And so, Lord, I thank you. May your name be made great in the earth through her example, Lord, through her testimony, and more, even more than this, God, even more than this. There's so much grace you've placed on her. So even more than this, but Lord, may you be glorified by through every plate, through every ingredient, through every photo. Lord, may you be glorified. May you be glorified. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray.
Amen.
Amen.